Hi everybody, Sharon here. Welcome back to my garden. So you're gonna have to forgive the red face because it's 90 degrees here and I just got through giving the dogs a bath, so I'm a little warm. So I'm sitting here in the shade of the tomatoes and thinking, I think it's about time we trim up these tomatoes. And I also need to secure them, some of the bigger stalks, to the trellis. So let me show you how I do that. Here I wanted to show you an example of a before and an after. You can see how clean I've made this here. Now the bottom of my trellis is 12 inches off the ground, so that's about how much I like to keep between here, where am I? Between here and here is 12 inches. And I don't like to have any leaves below that. Now I haven't done anything to these plants. I haven't picked the suckers. I haven't taken off the multiple stems. And some of them, like this particular one, what is this? Oh, this is sun gold. Sun gold grows like a weed, but it also is the first one to set fruit. It's got a couple suckers that have gone up and they already have fruit on them, so I'm not going to do anything about it. I'm going to leave them. Most of these plants this year, I'm just going to let them go. I'll take care of what's below 12 inches, but after that I'm just going to let them go and just kind of keep them up against the trellis to kind of keep them out of the way of the aisles here in my garden. So let me show you how I pick and choose what I cut off. So like I mentioned, I haven't done anything to these. Just kind of let them grow. On this particular plant, here's the main stem. There. And then all this that's hanging down below. Now I'll go take this. This has no fruit on it. Let me get my other ones. Cut that off. This one also has no fruit on it. Cut that off. Off. Over here, you probably can't see that. I'll take that off. And this side shoot, and let me get rid of this leaf. This side shoot here, that comes off. There. Now this is a sucker here. You can just snap those off. You can actually put these in water, the suckers, and they'll sprout roots from the stem, and then you can plant them. I've done that. Since some of these are determinants, this one is a determinate, this would be a really good way to get your second round of tomatoes, is to do that. I haven't decided if I'm going to do that or if I'm just going to start them from seed. So you can see this leaf is also leaning down. So this one is nice and cleaned up. I'm going to take this leaf off too. And this is a sucker. It seems like you're cutting off your whole plant, but really you're not, because none of those leaves or suckers are producing flowers, and now the plant will put more energy into, this is a sucker, into growing the fruit. So you can see how nice and clean that is. So there's no chance, not no chance, I should say not zero chance, but there's a lot less chance that in a rainstorm that the blight's gonna splash up onto the leaves and then climb up the plant. Let me do another one for you. This one looks like a real mess. So take these lower, anything real low. This is a sucker, this is a leaf. So for those of you who don't know, you've got your main stem and a leaf, and the sucker grows right in there. Here we go. This is actually a sucker here. I'm going to leave it. This is called Defiant. And you can see this is set fruit as well. Well, you probably can't because this leaf is in your way. So you can see here, this plant has set fruit. Actually, a lot of these have set fruit, which is good. And from here up, like from here up, I'm not going to take the suckers off. I'm just going to let them go. All I want to do is make sure that they are secure. Like this clip is really being pushed to its limits. I can't do this one-handed. So I'm going to remove that clip before it cuts off the circulation. And I'll take it and I'll put it there. That way the plant is still supported. Like this big branch here. You can't see that. Let me go to the other side. So this big branch right here, I'm going to take it and clip it right there. I don't think I can do this one-handed. There. Just like that. And that way it kind of clears the aisles. As you look down, you can see this branch here is sticking out. I'll clip that up. But then it kind of keeps the aisle cleaner if you clip those tomatoes up. Because your chances are, well, these are mostly determinate tomatoes, but for the indeterminate tomatoes, they're going to be really high and they're really going to be spread out, and you can hardly walk through these aisles when the tomatoes are fully grown. But for the determinate tomatoes, they're only going to get to be 4 feet high. So we got 1, 2, 3. They're just about at their full height. And that's all the taller they're going to get. And then they're all going to set their fruit. And all the fruit is going to become ripe at the same time. And then they'll be done. Then you can pull them out of the ground, and I'm going to plant another round of them afterwards. There we go. All nice and trimmed up. And that is everything that I took off of 13 tomato plants. You could see that it just looks a lot better. Just trying to keep everything contained. I have to stand in the shade. It's hot. It's really hot. So that's it. That's what I do to maintain my tomatoes. Now, some of the leaves that are a little bit higher than 12 inches will droop down throughout the summer, and I either cut the whole leaf off or cut half of it off just to make sure that it stays quite at least 12 inches above the ground. So now I'm going to go through and I'm going to give them a slow release fertilizer, something close to a 555, and I'm also going to throw down a little bit of Epsom salt because they're all flowering. And that'll be it for the Epsom salt. And the 555 slow release fertilizer I do every 2 weeks. And that's all I do to maintain my tomatoes. So in a couple weeks, we should be having cherry tomatoes. And then a couple weeks after that, we should have some good old, let's make a BLT type tomatoes. So thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Sharon's Home and Garden. I hope you like what you saw here. And if you did, don't forget to click on that subscribe button or give me a thumbs up. And until next time, happy gardening, everybody. Bye-bye.